The pain.
I have the pain. Oh.
I think you're too competitive, man. Ease up over there.
I've been told that.
No, being too competitive, there's no such thing. I'm not a believer in it. Guys, happy Saturday. Hope you guys are having a great day. We appreciate you for tuning in for another edition of the Pure Tennis Podcast, sponsored and powered by Tennis Point, where you guys can buy all the greatest and latest gear at the best price. Guys, if you're looking for some new tennis products, we've got the St. Patrick's Day sale going on. We've got the new Vapor Pro 2s and 11s available at tennispoint.com, and we have the new Pro Staff X. The first time they've ever made a 100 square inch frame of the Pro Staff. I've actually just been on the court testing it probably 2 or 3 times the last few weeks, and I've never been a Pro Staff guy. I've really never been a Wilson guy, but the Shift and the Pro Staff X have me curious.
Really?
They've made me curious.
The gold Pro Staff.
The gold Pro Staff. The all blacked out Pro Staff is still the best looking Pro Staff of all time, but 100 square inch frame with that control field, just line is just it feels dangererous.
Is it heavy still?
Yeah, it's still a heavier stick for sure. But I just felt like I'm actually a fan of the Head Prestige. I just hit that the other day as well.
You love the Prestige.
I do. I really do.
Hey, when did that happen?
Okay. No, on the backhand, I love it on my backhand.
Okay.
Because you can topple the ball so easily with that extra weight in the head. It feels like at least
the Head Prestige.
Yeah. I was grooving the backhand.
You used to dog me all the time for talking about Head Prestige.
I know, but I hit that latest version, whatever it came out a year or two ago, and we just came back from Hilton Head, and we were sponsored. We had that PTR Spring Fest where we were sponsored by Head to get out there.
Yeah,
and we had all the head rackets out there that we could have, and I was hitting.
I saw you with the Radical.
I hit the Radical against the wall a few times. I was hitting that for like 30 minutes, but then I hit the Prestige with AP and Bartek, and I was loving my backhand. The forehand is fine. I was hitting it, especially if you're hitting a flatter ball. The Prestige is great, but I guess I did a 180 on it. Like this, I didn't hit serves with it, so I can't speak on that. But just ground strokes, just drop feeding, it felt clean. The backhand is where I really like, because like my Pure Arrow is just very light. It's a light stick, 10.6 ounces, unstrung, so like 11.2 strung, super light stick. And when I face a heavier ball, like, it's just my racket is able to. It feels like it's getting beat up on the backhand. So now my swing speed isn't as fast. It
doesn't
as my
have the plow.
100%, you're right. Yeah.
So that's where I'm thinking you're getting old.
Don't say. Come on, man. Don't do that to me.
I'm just saying.
Come on.
Now you're gonna lower your tension down to 45.
If I make it to 30 years old,
it just sounds like what I would say. It sounds like what I would say.
This hurts me right here. I shouldn't have brought this up. I'm not gonna be able to sleep at night, man. This is the stuff that keeps me up.
I want you to switch to that heavy racket and then just get.
No, I will never. I will never be a thin frame heavy racket guy. But I'm just saying, when you test a lot of rackets,
Nate is gonna switch rackets this year.
I'm gonna switch rackets, but I will never go to a heavier thin frame, like a thin frame. There's no way. But I will say that the head spot. We just had all the head rackets out there, and I think they have a number of good sticks. The Head Extreme. I like it.
You like that one.
The Radical, I like
Love
it.
that one.
Yep.
The wand.
I don't like the gravity. Doesn't do anything for me.
I like the gravity.
It's
tried
fine.
it. I tried it. I like that one.
Yeah. It's a lot of people do. I'm just personal preference. The speed, I thought it's a little bit stiff for me, but I like it. It's solid. And then this, it's like they have 7 rackets. The Instinct is
they're all decent.
They're all solid.
Yeah.
And the Boom, they've got a tour presence with almost every model.
I like the Boom too. I tried that one. That one's a little more like almost like my it's got a lot more pop.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, it's free. Yeah, it's their version of the Pure Drive kind of. Maybe a little more. I don't know if I can say that actually. I don't know if it is more control. But guys, we just got back from Indian Wells and Hilton Head the last 2 weeks, so we've been absent. We've got a ton to catch up on.
The snow-capped mountains in the distance and the wind blowing.
First time that snow touched the valley.
Little rain, too. Weird.
First time that the snow, I think, touched the valley, they said, in like 3 or 4 years.
You could see it everywhere.
Which was wild, because like when you land in California, you don't think of snow, especially in the desert.
Exactly. I mean, I watched Indian Wells. I've never seen snow on the top of the mountains back there.
That place is, like you said, tennis paradise.
Paradise.
It is. It's just incredible. It's like that place is a sanctuary. As soon as you get off the plane, you go to pick up your bag at the on the roundabout, and it's either golf clubs or tennis bag every other bag. And, I mean, it's just they have highlights of last year's Indian Wells at the terminals and stuff. It's just like you feel like you're entering a tennis sanctuary. And it's just like for people like you and I, all the other tennis fans out there, it is a bucket list type of destination, and we had a hell of a time.
Yeah,
so
we were looking at houses to rent next year.
Yeah?
So
count me in. I got you at Airbnb that we found this past year. It was not a bad place to hang out for a week.
That seemed like pool looked nice.
Frigid, but nice.
Really?
I wasn't going to pay $100 extra per day to hop in that pool.
You didn't want to heat it?
I'm like, come on. Like, you're already charging us out the yang for this place. Just, come on. Just give us the freaking hot water on. But, guys, we filmed a few commercials out there that you guys will be seeing on Tennis Channel. We filmed with Babolat's athletes, Dominic Thiem, 2020 U.S. Open champion, and Leylah Fernandez, 2021 finalist at the U.S. Open, as well as the 18-year-old young prodigy from China, Jerry Shang, who won a match at the Australian Open, the first Chinese male since in the Open era to ever do so. So pretty cool trio there. We also filmed an ASIC spot with Alicia Parks, rising American star. She's now inside the top 60, I believe, after winning her title at Lyon. It was just fun to get to know these different players and they all have different personalities. I think when you go on a commercial shoot, different people from different parts of the world, and you just have to find a way to connect with these guys to loosen them up and to get them feeling comfortable with your script and what concepts you're trying to do. And for me, being the solo director of that from the first time of my career was pretty eye-opening and definitely a way for us to learn on the fly. You're on these tight schedules. Dominic Thiem, you got 10 to 15 minutes at most with these guys to get a commercial done, and it's just like you got to make it happen and things have to work. And I was pretty proud of our team and what we were able to accomplish. So successful week at Indian Wells.
I mean, you got to watch matches?
Yeah, I got to watch a little bit of matches. I was obviously the first few days we were focused on getting commercials done, and then a couple tennis events. It's called Desert Smash, run by Wilson. They do a bunch of celebrity and tennis, fundraising for charity and stuff, which was cool. And then I got to watch a lot of practice court action. I mean, you know me, when I go to those events this year, even though I was my first time being credentialed at BNP Paribas, it was just you still, qualifiers are great, but it's I want to watch the top players play the top players on the practice courts just to see, I don't know. I'm addicted to it. And, I might have spent, in the week I was there, I might have spent 2 hours tops total watching actual tennis matches. Is that surprising to you?
No. Seems like what you did at Cincinnati too. That's sort of
unless it's one of my guys that I have a relationship with or that we're gonna feature on some content, you're gonna find me everywhere but the match courts.
See, I'm still a sucker. I just go for the big prize fight. I'm just going. I had something about that.
No, and I was there. Obviously, I was there the first week, so it wasn't like there was a ton of.
I love the practice matches. I love getting up close. I think that's awesome. You just go and start talking to them though.
Right. No, that's kind of. I just like to talk and see who I can meet or talk to or shake hands with or bump elbows with, and it's got to watch Hubert Hurkacz and Gael Monfils practice. Gael is a guy that I've respected and looked up to since I was young, and a guy that's always made tennis fun for me, and probably one of the reasons that I've wanted to keep tennis in my life as long as I could. And Gael back and healthy was just special to watch. You just got those legends that I grew up watching. You're you just never know when your last time watching them is going to be. And Hubert Hurkacz and him putting on an absolute show for the crowd. Got a bunch of cool videos there. And I actually got to interview Hubert Hurkacz's coach.
You actually have that on the task cam, didn't you?
Yeah, let's go ahead and splice it in there. Task cam worked beautifully. We were actually watching the practice courts up on top of the balcony, so pretty cool setting. Craig's awesome, super honest, straightforward, and just a guy that I've respected now since I've known him for a few years.
So here's Nate talking to Craig Boynton.
How was So we're out here today, Indian Wells, warming up. You got Gael Monfils and Hubert Hurkacz putting on a practice. I mean, what was the atmosphere of that one?
Lots of interesting shots were hit. Very creative, two very creative players, but a lot of fun. It was great to see Gael back out battling. He's been off tour with injury, but it was a lot of fun. Yeah, it was good practice.
Those are two super serious guys on the practice courts. There's no messing around.
I wouldn't go that far. I wouldn't say that. I think pretty relaxed, a lot of laughs. But it's a balance. You want to get work done. You don't want to be too serious. You don't want to be, you don't want to You want to stay on the mountain, if you will. But it was a good balance. No, it was good.
I remember, the level was actually, when they locked in, the level was very high. I mean, Guile showed off his shot making. Hubie's hands are amazing. His serve has been dynamite, which makes him one of the most dangerous players in the world.
Right.
I was at your practice last year with Pablo Busta. Just having you kind of lock Hubie in at practice. I remember that's a constant balance, as you put it, like trying to balance the seriousness of locking in for strategy and game planning and having fun with this whole thing.
Yeah, it sure is. And it also depends upon when in the week you're doing it. This was Hubie's first practice. He doesn't play till Saturday. So we have multiple days. You don't need to be too good too soon. Yeah. And this was his first practice after having a couple days off. So what we're trying to accomplish was just really basic and trying to feel the court, feel the conditions, feel the balls. I mean, it might sound silly, but every week they seem to have you play with different balls that you have a different response or a different feel off the racket. And so you're just trying to get familiar with what you're going to encounter for this tournament.
And so Hubie's coming off a title run where he was excellent. I mean, all week long, and he's playing very good tennis. He's found his weapons. It seems like, from an outside perspective, he's been more accepting being aggressive on the forehand wing, where his backhand's always been stellar. He's got one of the best backhands on the tour, one of the best serves on the tour, but obviously his hands are phenomenal, and I think the forehand wing was where the improvement has been seen, is just been more aggressive.
For those of you listening out there, the most important word in that sentence, and it's what you can not only use for tennis but for life, is accepting. You've got to accept. And when you accept, then you can commit. But if you don't have acceptance, it's hard to have commitment. And so you just basically encapsulated in one sentence what we've been working on for the year. And listen, of course his backhand is his backhand, and his forehand is maybe a little bit more erratic. But you just have to accept that who you are as a player and as a person, and accept that. And then with acceptance, you're able then to be focused on the next point. And Hubie's doing a great job with that this year.
No, it seems like his weight is staying on the ball a lot cleaner. He seems like he's coming through the ball with his weight and not kind of hanging off the ball a little bit, and like where he was kind of timid and as far as not pushing body weight to the ball. And now he's leaning in full go. So
no, it's great. Yeah, I mean, it's the goal is not to be perfect, because perfection I don't think exists. But if you can commit to do that more times than you did last week, then what we're looking for is improvement, and he's evolving, and you're always you want to evolve, obviously, towards the good, and it starts with acceptance.
So you've coached a lot of greats. I mean, Jim Courier, Marty Fish, John Isner. How does the process for improving Hubie's game differ from where you've kind of been in the past with players?
Well, every player has different strengths. And so what I've learned is that you want to spend most of your time on the strengths, because that's what not only going to pay for the house, but it'll pay for how many houses and how big the house is and so on and so forth, and what zip code. But also work on the liabilities. So what I do is I look at a player that I'm working with, and what would I do, or what would I say if I'm coaching against him? Now I know what he does well, and so then you work on patching up those holes a little bit. And with some players, it comes very quickly. Like I had probably two of the best practice weeks of my life with John Isner when I started with him. I had the luxury of knowing him for a year and a half, watching him play, and we just got to work on managing his game and putting him in good positions and working on the positions that I would put him in is if I was coaching against him. So that's kind of how I go about my process.
Now, just talking about the gear real quick. I mean, you've been a part of the Solinco family. Whenever they panned you in the box, you always got the rep in the trucker hat. Classic look, got the legendary beard out here. Talk about what it means to you to be a part of the Solinco family.
Actually, I've known KT and the family for, I think it was 2009, 2010, where we started having a conversation, and it's like a family. I believe in Solinco so much that whenever I'm working with a player, we do blind tests. And as a coach, my primary responsibility is the players and the players' performance. So whatever they play best with, I'm all for. If it's fishing wire, I don't care. But in every single instance, when we did the blind test, the players have picked a Solinco product to put in their racket. And that is how good Solinco is. Best players in the world play with it. So give it a try.
No, so I'm a Solinco advocate as well. I mean, I've been on the traveled the U.S. circuit and seen all the juniors who have had the opportunity to run into one of these guys. I mean, we have, I think, 6 Solinco members here right now. They put boots on the ground. I think that's the difference. Is not only their product is A1, but they have the people behind it supporting it and really pushing their product to these top players in the world.
Customer service is just like no other.
Yep.
So I mean, it's just a rock solid A++ company from top to bottom.
It's good to see. I think I always like to see that you're repping the Solinco, and I'm like, I want to look like Craig Boynton does in the box out here.
Well,
so
you're not going to get my trucker hat.
No, I requested one.
No. You can request, but they got to send the email to me, and I usually say no. Funny story. So I get down to Australia, and I'm going to throw Brad Stein under the bus because this player made semis, and it's okay. It's like, CB, I forgot my hats at home. And I'm like, well, you're not going to get one of mine because it won't fit. And then Solinco's great. I have like an extended dome, and these trucker hats fit me. And so I'm like, Brad, with your small head, you're not going to. So he's like, come on. So my style guru, my daughter, who picks out the outfits for me every day, I said to Sid, look, Solinco guy's in trouble. We got to help him out. What hat am I not going to use? I'm going to wear the least that I can give Brad. And so Brad got one of my trucker hats. His player made semis, Tommy Paul, down in Australia. I don't think I'm going to get that hat back. I don't think I'm going to get it back. But I think I got to ask him if he loved the hat.
It's a legendary story, though. That hat, I think it was worth it. A solid donation for good use.
We don't leave a coach behind.
No.
We don't leave a coach
Solinco doesn't leave anybody behind. So last question, what is the Hubert Hurkacz setup in the V-Core Pro?
He has gut in the cross, and he has Torbite. Can I say that? In the mains.
Torbite in the mains.
Can I say that?
It's just for him,
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So gut in the cross, Torbite in the mains. 10% pre-stretch on both.
What's the tension?
Our normal is we go 23.5 kilos with a 10%. That's our stock, and we start that at every tournament, and we go up or down accordingly.
So is it normal for him to test out the weather conditions and the ball and the court conditions and change?
1,000%. We actually practice at different times of the day to have different weather conditions to see what we need to do with the string tension.
That's super interesting. All right, Craig Boynton, appreciate your time.
My pleasure. Anytime.
Good luck this week.
Thanks, buddy.
Have fun.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Okay.
Appreciate it, man.
Yeah.
So shout out to Craig Boynton. Appreciated him for coming on and giving us some time. He's just always entertaining. We will take Craig Boynton anytime he's ready for it. Tommy Paul ended up playing Hubert Hurkacz and Indian Wells. We took it in the third set. Just pretty cool that those two ended up playing each other. But great week out in Indian Wells. JP, what has been your favorite matches, favorite takeaways? Give me like one storyline that you've taken away.
I think that the Indian Wells tournament has been just big key matchups that you
Final
kind
Four
of want to happen, not just in the like the later stages, but
right.
just like the whole tournament. Just getting marquee play, like Andy Murray. I think early storyline, just kind of fighting through. He was definitely playing good before, but
I don't think he's won a match in straight sets all year long. I feel like every match he's won has been an epic, gone the distance. He somehow finds a way to come back and reel it back in. But I think Murray's been one of the storylines of this whole year. I think for me, did you watch some Sasha Zverev this past week?
I watched Zverev and Medi. I like my son, Benny loves Zverev, so it's just like whenever he's on, we'll be watching it because I didn't get a chance to get really into any of his matches until the Medi match, and just watching him, it just felt terrible when he double faulted in the end of that third set because you could just see how much it meant to him. And so I think that's why people love Zverev so much, is it's just like he's a real person, and like just felt bad for him. I'm glad Medi is still undefeated in the last four tournaments, but it's just still like you kind of were pulling for Zverev a little bit.
I found myself doing the same thing. It's like, what is it about he has, like, when Medi went down with the ankle injury, you just showed me the clip. I mean, Sasha was like, I don't know.
He ran
like,
across the court.
He just seems like authentic. He seems like a real.
Even when Medvedev was like I don't know if the earlier in the first set too, he's just screaming at the chair umpire saying that Indian Wells is a disgrace because it was so slow.
How funny.
And he wanted to go to the toilet for 25 minutes.
How entertaining is Daniil Medvedev? For someone to complain like he's been complaining.
But like Zverev is over in the corner just looking at the chair ump after Meddy's like standing over in the corner like talking about how slow it was.
He's laughing.
And he's just laughing at him.
I mean, Zverev is just I don't know how I'm happy he's back on the tour, happy he's healthy, but Daniil Medvedev, any guy that complains, you think that their game is going to follow that complaining and kind of go into like a tail, like just whatever. It's like it's gone. They're done. If you lose the mental, you lose your edge. Usually the game follows it.
Right.
But Medvedev will talk so much shit.
It's almost like he's being like he's budding broken English comedian.
But exactly.
He's trying to be
funny.
funny.
But he's telling the truth though. Like about the balls being
he said
always
it shouldn't
different.
be called a hard court.
Because it's so slow. It's like it's just so entertaining. His changeovers now. It's like I'm tuned into that. They need to keep these players mic'd up for that reason alone. And Daniil Medvedev saying he'll take a 25-minute pee because that's how slow the courts are. I'm like, this guy.
He said he did. You can penalize me 5 times. 5 times.
I don't care.
I don't care. Wait, when are you get penalized 5 times? What does that even mean?
Meddy's just talking. I love it. He knows all the rules better than anybody, and he's over here just yelling.
Yeah, but what would 5 times of penalty be?
That sounds like a match point.
He's going to give you 5.
He's going to give you a match point.
A whole game, and 15 love.
Oh my God. Medvedev on a tear. 18 straight wins for Daniil Medvedev.
Yeah.
He's won, is it what, 2 consecutive
3 straight tournaments.
3 straight tournaments.
Yeah.
Rotterdam,
Mm-hmm.
Dubai, and was it not Marseille?
Yeah.
Marseille.
Yeah. So,
Wow, what a memory.
Dude.
All these weeks running together, but I still pull that out somehow.
But then, and he's still in the running right now. He's got 1 foot. Well, you don't think that was that bad, but like
it was a nice little. He clipped a clipped wing. He did clip the ankle a little bit, but his weight didn't fall over his foot, so I think he should be okay. I mean,
but
it did the swelling. The swelling. We'll see how it's never going to be. It's always going to be a little rougher after a day or two. So
right.
The swelling could have gotten worse. I'm not saying he's 100% healthy, but watching it again after not seeing it live, it didn't look. He'll be all right, I think.
It's just a little flick.
I was more worried about him.
Flick.
Yeah, I was more worried about him cutting his finger, actually, like on the edge of your thumb where you put a lot of pressure on the racket. That was like how grippy and like
I thought
sandpaper like those courts are.
But see, I thought that was the courts, all the karma of him saying so much bad stuff about him.
True.
The courts were like, all right, we're going to rip your ankle.
You're gonna feel us. You're
gonna
feel us out here.
So Tiafoe has got to play octopus.
Tiafoe.
It's a big task.
Francis Tiafoe is in his first Masters semifinal. After the U.S. Open, he seems to have just entered a new place mentally, where he just has a different level of belief in his game, and it doesn't matter if he gets down an early break in the first set or whatever. He just has this composure.
Oh, I mean, Cam Norrie was kind of stepping on him at the beginning. I just thought that was one of those complete turnaround matches that you look at Cam Norrie just kind of pushing him around, and then it's like, I mean, for the first 2 games, I don't think he got a point.
No, I mean, Cam's timing is, I think it's hard because Cam can catch the ball early and redirect so well that like it does take players, I think, a second to get used to that scoop that he just digs that backhand.
So that's probably what it was.
The shovel. Yeah, the shovel is just, and I think that, and then Cam moves exceptionally well. So the extended rallies are something that you kind of have to like get your mind ready for. And Tiafoe talked about after the match that like he's not someone that really wants to have those big, long trading warfare from the baseline where he wants to put pressure, come in the front court, finish off points with his athleticism, his length, his touch, and that's what he was able to do. Tiafoe was able to attack whenever he was on the offensive. He was able to push forward and keep Cam on the defensive where he's less dangerous. But I thought Tiafoe was just, I mean, he's just playing so under control. Like even when he tries like these exciting kind of trick shots where it seems like it's in a moment where if he misses it, it's not like a death, like kind of a death shot where he's gonna like really shoot himself in the foot and cost himself an opportunity to get broken or something like that. So he seems to be just playing. I mean, it was
the first time he'd ever beaten Cam Norrie.
That's wild.
And so, but now he's lost 4 times in a row to Meddy.
What is the head-to-head against Cam? Is he getting beat up?
Now it's 1-1.
Oh, is it okay?
Yeah,
okay,
but like,
more.
but
so
now
Meddy, he's what 0-4.
4-0.
Okay.
Because he's back. The octopus is back.
He is. Tiafoe talked about the last thing on Tiafoe was that I thought it was interesting that he went to the Celebrity All-Star game with the NBA, And I thought it was cool that he talked about kind of the influence that LeBron, Dwayne Wade, and Giannis had on him, kind of telling him that you can go be great and you can do special things. And I think he said that that really helped him and just believe in himself even more.
You got to. Tennis, you have to believe that you're going to hit the shot before you have to think it's going in. Like I feel, especially with like a scrambler guy that is all over the place. Like those are. It's like this continued belief of setting up the point too, like not just getting the guy that's like complete physical specimen out of position. Good luck.
It's all about the belief, and so Tiafoe's going to have Medvedev in the semifinal, a tough matchup for anybody, but especially what if somebody asked me what can Tiafoe do to beat Medvedev? I mean, he better be on offense.
Got to be ready to grind.
Yeah, he can't play defense.
And you got to be ready to hit 13, 14 backhands in a row because he's going to do it to you because that's his signature.
Medi just tests the bot. If
he puts Zverev's backhand into a checkpoint.
And Zverev's backhand is one of the best in the world, and it's just insane that he just kept grooving to the backhand.
Just and never going away. That's the thing is he just gets comfortable into that thing. Where it's I'll hit 50 of these.
He'll stay with it. That's his discipline is just stupid. He
won't break the pattern.
That's
the most intimidating thing about him. He
I agree.
Stands there.
I agree.
And just will not change.
He will not wilter.
Let's go. Let's just see who passes out first.
But it's been a great last year for American tennis, and we have Tiafoe now. Fritz made a push, ended up losing to Sinner in a tough one in the third set. Tommy Paul, he's almost there.
Big win.
He's almost there.
It's another top 10 win. Mm-hmm. And he is almost there.
He's almost there. It's just he had 6 match points against Felix and wasn't able to close the deal.
That's
really,
terrible.
You got to feel for the kid. I mean,
that's one that's going to kind of sit there for a while.
It would have a couple years ago. I would say 100%. We could see Tommy kind of spiral out of control a little bit and maybe drop a few matches that kind of and as an after effect, like a little hangover. I don't think that'll be the case this time.
Yeah,
maybe not.
I hope not.
Maybe it is, but I think he's in a good place with it. He's had results. He got to the final in where was it when he lost to Demonar?
Yeah,
Acapulco.
He's doing wonderful.
He's got to the finals there.
Year.
He beat Hurkacz. He should have beat Felix, who's playing about as well as anybody not named Carlos or Medvedev.
Right.
And it's like you're in a great spot. You're pushing to be a top 15 player. I think Tommy Paul, if you're in his fan camp, you gotta love where he's at.
Which I am.
Yeah.
I think that I felt like at 6'3" though, it's one of those
in the breaker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just one it's a hurt. It's a hurt.
Yep.
Because you could literally just stand on it and just hit bombs and get one ace and you're done.
Yeah, he looked tentative on that.
He
looked a little tentative. That backhand that he had a passing shot look where he just, especially with Tommy's backhand being, he usually strikes the ball so well off that wing.
I think that's what Indian Wells means so much to these guys because it is almost like a major.
It's a fist slam.
So when you see Zverev double fault on game point to Medi start, that one was shattering too because then the next serve, did you see that? Medi hit the ball and he just completely fanned on it. Yep. It's just oh man, his head is gone.
Yep.
Because I've been there. I feel that.
I've been there.
I do that every weekend.
I told you that the other day. You just got to relax, man.
I try.
The more pressure you put on yourself, it's just even for the top guys. It makes it tougher. But I would say, what Jannik Sinner just did to Fritz, the defending champion? What in that forehand?
Oh my God.
He hit 4 forehands.
That's the other thing. Don't watch Jannik Sinner before you actually go play yourself. If you're a heads up point of view, if you're about to play a match, don't watch Sinner play Fritz.
He makes you
think you can do that.
He makes you believe that every ball can be slapped at 95 miles an hour.
I know. Cross court all the way past giant human.
He had 4 winners over 90 miles an hour.
I know.
He had 2 winners over 103 miles an hour.
Early too. Just jumped right off the gate. I saw him when he's standing in that little flowery area that says Tennis Paradise where you probably had your morning coffee every day. But him and Fritz are standing there, and Fritz is in this he's seriously standing there, Jannik Sinner's just jumping around. I'm like, oh dude, I was like, he's gonna win, he's gonna beat him.
The forehand he had on the dead run that was 103 miles an hour
right off the bat in the second game.
Stop it.
Second game.
I mean, you have, there's not.
You're already geared up. Your shoulder's already that alive.
It's
you're ready to fire bomb, and he broke him on the very first game too.
Yep.
And then. That first 105 mile per hour was to save. He had got through 3 deuces to hit that.
We need to figure out the stat. I would love to see the stat. at least for top 10 players, if you get broken in the first game, what percentage of those matches are you able to win? Getting broken in the first game with the top, like that's sending a message. That's just
that is a big,
right out the gates.
big
You're
scare.
here to play, and it's
because like in your head you're like, it's just the first game, whatever.
Yep.
I'm just tight, like,
Yep.
but it's a break.
Yep. Yannick Sinner is ranked number 13 in the world right now. I expect him to be in the top 5, top 6.
Me too. That was my early season call, and like he has not let me down.
So he's on the rise. On a guy on the opposite spectrum of that, Casper Ruud. Oof.
Well, clay court season
Diego
started.
Schwartzman and Casper Ruud. Get those guys on the dirt immediately.
Get some milk.
Get some milk. I mean, first Diego and Casper. Those are two guys that I'm selling my stock on. Casper is just. I love the guy. Seems like a great guy.
World number 2.
Right now?
No, but
he used to be. He's dropped.
I'm
Was he like 5 or 6 now?
Yeah.
Yeah. So he'll be dropping out of the top 10 if I had to say with sooner than later, and that's going to free up a spot for a guy like Big Foe or a guy like can Zverev reclaim his spot. So
yeah,
it's going to leave
12 now. I think.
Yeah. So either I think Tiafoe or Zverev will find a way to climb inside the top 10, and I think a guy like Casper Ruud is going to drop. Another guy is Diego Schwartzman. Loses in Indian Wells early.
It's funny because Schwartzman and Casper Ruud played each other in the second round.
They did.
And Ruud just kind of got him.
And then Casper got torched by
Guerin.
Yeah, Christian Guerin, who hasn't had a big win, it seems like, in years. But it's just like I was never a believer when Casper was world number 2 and made even though he made two finals of the slams. I just never thought he was. I thought it was a kind of a fluky season in it without Novak being at these events. I just didn't. Yeah, and
that's the other thing too. And then that documentary that they did, where they
showed Rafa and him.
Yeah,
and
he's just sending balls out into the crowd and clanking them off the frame. Like that was when it was. It's like got a little bit big for him. I think.
No, it's true. So those guys were selling on.
World number 2s shouldn't have the world get too big for him, in my opinion. Like if you're a world number 2, you should go in there. It should be a problem for whoever you come across. World number 2 is just as good as world number 1. World number 1, in my opinion, like
it's yeah.
If you get to 2 finals, like you shouldn't be nervous.
That's true. Fair.
But he was nervous.
How about as far as another guy we're gonna buy stock on? If anybody ever sold their stock, Stan Wawrinka. At 37 years old, I want to invest in some stock.
Do you think that he weighs 180 pounds, though? ATP, the website says 180.
They're treating Stan very well. Now, Stan has lost some weight, does look a lot more fit, looks a little bit lighter on the feet the last few weeks than he has before, like prior, I guess.
They should get him shirts that aren't for 180-pound dudes, though.
Because they're still doing that. We're seeing way too much movement up top.
He's 199.
Yeah, he's a big guy. He's a big barrel-chested guy, but now he's got a little bit. There's some things moving. I'm
cannons.
Like,
he's got cannons. Bring
he
it.
Does. But that
Holger Rune match too. We didn't even talk about
revenge.
that. There's so many things to talk about.
We've missed the booth, but Holger, who took him out in an epic third setter, where Stan kind of berated him after the match at the handshake. Told him to grow up, and it was like, to me, it was pretty fair. Like Holger was acting like a little bit of a child, and Stan Wawrinka's been around the game. I'm sure, he was a little bit salty that he lost the match. I mean,
that's what it was.
Sure, but like, I think he also realized that, like, in that moment, I think Stan didn't just like. It was reactionary to an extent, but it's like, I think he had a point there. I think he realized that Holger's going to be one of the faces of the tour. Everybody knew that last year when Holger made this run from 102 in the world to top 10, and Stan knows that, and Stan loves the game and kind of respects the guys that came ahead of him. Wanted Holger to kind of feel that. Holger wasn't having it, and then Holger tried to dish it back out after this match at Indian Wells this past week, and that kind of. Silly. It was just silly.
Got it though, but that's the thing is like that. There's the feather in the cap thing for the young guy to get the big scalp.
Yep.
But then when the old guy comes back and takes it back.
Yep. We got a little rivalry now.
Now there's a rivalry.
It's a rivalry now.
Good luck with that too.
Once both sides have a W under their belt, it becomes a rivalry. I'm all here for it.
I am too.
Stan versus Holger. You know that next match is going to be popcorn. So Holger's gonna try to tag him at the net. Stan's gonna hit a volley. It's gonna clip the net tape. It's gonna pop up. Holger's going to have a wide open court. He's going to go right at Stan, and we got popcorn, extra butter on the way.
Extra butter.
Let's go. I can't wait for the semifinals. We got 2 electric matchups. Francis Tiafoe versus Daniil Medvedev, 2 of the best hardcore players the past 6 months. Then we got Yannick Sinner versus Carlos Alcaraz, a rematch of the epic quarterfinal at the 2022 U.S. Open, and that went 5 sets, and arguably the greatest match of last season. Just the highest level I think I'd seen last year. Those guys are both playing ridiculous tennis right now, and they're embracing this rivalry that they have as friends. As they are friends off the court. It's just like they're 2 mature guys that are going to be the face of tennis for a while, and it's like for the next 12 to 15 years, we're going to look forward to this matchup, and we have another outing of it. Who are you taking in tomorrow's semifinal?
Who are you going to go with? I know who I'm.
You give me the prediction on Sinner Alcaraz. Who you got?
Sinner Alcaraz.
Nope. Yeah. Can Sinner redeem himself?
I'm thinking that. God, Alcaraz playing so good right now. I'm going to go with.
I guess Alcaraz is healthy. He did pull out that last tournament. I guess that was more of a fatigue thing. He looks healthy. He looks
like
fit.
Upper hamstring. Yeah. But like
the hamstring looks moving exceptionally well.
I'm going to go with Sinner only because the ball striking is lit right now. And then on the lower bracket, I'm gonna have to go with Medi. I'm gonna go.
Yeah, you don't want to. Yeah, that's fair. So you got Medi versus Sinner.
Yeah, and then I have.
Give me Carlos versus Medi. I mean, I'm rooting for Tiafoe, but that's just a terrible.
I want
matchup.
Tiafoe to win, but
there's just no way,
there's
right?
Just the octopus thing.
I bet you met. I haven't looked at
takes up the entire court, and when he's back, like there's just can't hit through him. You can't get around him. Where do you go? Nobody can do. Djokovic can't beat him when he plays like this.
Djokovic should have beat him the last time they had.
He's just everywhere.
Tough. He is. So you got what's the score? Is either of them going the distance? Are they going to be? Medi might straight set Tiafoe, huh?
I think that one could go straight, but I think that Sinner and Alcaraz could go 3.
So right now, opening lines,
and then Sinner and Medi, I think will go 3. I think.
So Daniil Medvedev is minus 430 money line. Carlos Alcaraz is minus 190. That's crazy. So Medvedev is a heavy favorite.
So I'm pulling one upset card, and I'm taking one favorite. Where are you going?
Tiafoe's a dangerous underdog. I think that's obviously he was going to be an underdog going into this meeting, but I think as a heavy underdog, he's going to have no pressure. He's playing loose as can be. He's going to have the crowd behind him. I think Tiafoe will take him to a 3rd set. Does Tiafoe have enough in the tank to continue to kind of throw the kitchen sink at Medi? Not sure. Sinner, I think Sinner definitely takes this one to a 3rd set with Carlos. I think Carlos ends up taking it. He just seems to have the mental edge, seems to have the shot making, and just that extra gear to push to that. We saw him do it.
He's definitely got the extra gear, and he's playing the top of the level. I just think that after watching Sinner on the Fritz match,
Sinner was
striking balls that
yep.
It's every bit of Alcaraz's power. I mean, and I think that this one of those matches, Sinner has to win one, and he wanted to beat Alcaraz. He just got killed in the end. This is one he's probably had circled for. And he's just waiting for it.
True. No, Sinner is definitely.
And they're playing 2-2, right? Didn't we look it up, or was that someone else?
No, they're 2-2.
Yeah,
Sinner's playing well enough to win this match. My only thing with this match is why I'm taking Carlos is because I think if they're both playing their best game, Carlos wins. If Sinner's playing his best game, what I like about Carlos is he has a couple layers to his game where even if he's not striking the ball super clean and big off the baseline, he can scrap it up. He can hit the drop shots and hit the slice shots and get to the net and serve and volley and take returns early and start. He can mix it up in ways that I don't think Sinner is capable of. So that's why I'm taking him. But it's going to be an electric semifinal Saturday.
I can't wait.
The women's semifinal just concluded. We got Sabalenka who ripped through,
just beat up Sakari.
2 and 3,
Serve
I believe.
+1, and then Indian Wells. Although I think that it is tennis paradise, but Medi said that it was a disgrace to the sport. They couldn't get the thing to work. None of the sound system worked. There's a 20-minute delay.
You know why?
Embarrassing.
They got so many damn old people in that place. They can't figure out technology.
That's what I said. It's unplug it, plug it back in,
blow on it,
it.
Dude, I was the youngest person out there by 50-something years. I swear. I mean, every restaurant we went to, I'm like, is there anybody that
But if there's a lot of blue hairs in there, that it's good.
It is, yeah, that's true.
Because
that's true. But they eat. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure about that. But sure, I didn't get to go to Nobu, which I'm sure would have been nice, but every other place, it's like, yeah, people were looking at us like, what are they doing here? They're not. They're not retired people.
That person's young.
Yeah, they're not even. Wow, but it was funny.
Look at him use that phone device.
What is it? Yeah. Look at what is that? What is that flying aircraft? Oh, it's a drone. What is
It's a drone?
No, and then
Coffee, like it's going out of style.
in the other semifinal, Iga Swiatek falls to the Wimbledon champ,
Beat up.
2-2 to Elena Rybakina. Rybakina just blitzed her off the court. Ever since I commented on Iga Swiatek's post about her being the Michael Jordan of the women's tennis, things have not gone too smoothly for Iga.
Well, she looked good against Kristea, that Romanian girl.
Yeah.
I mean, and that girl was playing at a high
100%.
level. Just beat her up. I think she kind of left it out.
Not sure that's the barometer that I would.
I know, but I'm just saying, like, that was a match right before tonight.
That's true.
Tonight, she looked like she couldn't hold a tennis racket.
2-2. That's a tune job.
It was
crazy.
a tune job.
But no, it's tennis though, and it's like women's tennis especially. You get these lopsided sets, but for Iga, it's been like something that she's not been able. Like no one's been able to punch out Iga like that.
Yeah,
Rybakina kind of has her number, and so Sabalenka, Rybakina in a final. It's gonna be a big, heavy hitting final between those two. Just
blanket.
Two of the biggest hitters on the tour, maybe arguably the two biggest hitters on the tour. I'll take my prediction on that. I'm riding Sabalenka.
I'm going blanket too.
She's won 17 of her last 18 matches.
She's world number 2, about to
be world number 1.
Yeah.
Well, she got some catch up to do.
She's got $2.2 million in the bank this year already.
It's a good purse right there. All right, JP. I think
That's good.
I got all my takes out for this episode.
I'm glad you're back.
It's good to be back.
We got to sell gear though, probably.
Didn't we do that in the beginning?
I think we talked about Solinco, but that was only.
We talked about the pro staff and the
we
St.
did.
Patrick's
Yes, we
Day.
did. Yeah, get the St. Patrick's Day.
We love shouting out our Tennis Point plug. But guys, fun podcast here. Great to be back. Hope you guys enjoyed the Craig Boynton interview, and we will be tuning in with Miami action soon.
Yeah, Nate's going to Miami.
Let's have some fun.